Hey, what's up? It's been a little while, hasn't it? A very busy while. This is the first stream in like what? 2 or 3 weeks? I don't even know. I have no idea. Sense of time is being a little bit messed with. It's all about the schedule. Okay. So, let me just make sure that I have everything ready here. I mean, ready, of course, it is, but just gotta make sure that... Yeah, the chat seems to be working nice. I don't have to restart it this time. Usually I do. Okay, that's nice. Just gonna set up the super chat window as well. And then we should be good to go. No. No. Don't. Don't mind me, I'm just struggling with the windows here. There we go, okay. That'll do. Now we just gotta get that up here. Stop. Stop about the Mordhau. I've already recorded a video. It'll be up soon. Shut up. You'll see it. Fluff's sake. Everybody and their mom and their grandma and their dog has been asking me about that. You'll see it. Okay. Window. There. This one? Yes. That should be correct. Yeah, there we go. I just need to resize this because this is kind of stupid right now. How about this? Nah. Nah, bruh. Still too large. There we go. Okay. Also, I don't quite like how the camera is pointed. There we go. Gotta conform to the rule of thirds and all that shit. New medieval combat game. It's not that new at this point, I would say. Not anymore. Coffee, save me. Oh, I am. Mainly tired and kind of stressed out because there's been a lot to do lately and I haven't been able to keep up with everything, which I kind of hate. There's always this endless supply of unread messages in the inbox, and that bothers me. I'd like to make people wait. I mean, not everything that everybody says requires immediate attention. In fact, there's a lot of stuff that's kind of like, why did you send this? But I hate to just not keep up with everything. That's all. I was building up towards some kind of interesting conclusion. I was like, I just don't like it, guys. Oh man, my brain is a bit wrecked. But I think the way things are going, I think it should calm down a little bit in June and start to ramp up again in July, and then August is going to be complete insanity. That's kind of how things are looking. No, coffee's not bad. Nope. There's a number of studies that have actually found health benefits of moderate coffee consumption. Of course, you can overdo everything. If you drink 5 cups every day, then yeah, you're gonna get messed up. Of course, especially if you get dependent on it and everything. But I limit the amount to 1 cup, 1 cup max a day. In fact, I like to skip days. I don't like to drink coffee every single day, but when I absolutely need it, I need it. It is what it is. because my sleep quality is not very good. Hope the offer on the new house is still going smoothly. Yes, we're in fact in the process of getting the last details sorted out. Unless something bizarre suddenly happens, it's going to be good. We're all set. Oh, wait. I just realized my microphone is peaking. Sorry about that, guys. I hate audio distortion because there's nothing you can fix that. When it's too sensitive and the incoming volume is too high, it just messes with the audio quality, and you cannot fix that. Is this even the correct device? I should be. Yeah, it is. Never mind. But there it is. There it is. I still had some gain on for some reason. There we go. That should be a lot better. Should be less peaky. Okay, all right. There is a super chat from Sean Wolf. Hey, Sean, how's it going? Become a patron again today. Also need to play more. Just leave me alone with this for 5 seconds. Again, next week. Next week there will be a video about it. Anyway, thank you. So let me resize this a little bit so it's larger. Easier to read. In fact, in order to do that, I have to... there we go. That should be better. Now I can drag it. Yeah, it's not fantastically larger, but it's something, you know. If your new place is near the Annapolis Valley, there's a shooting sports club about 15 minutes away. Let me see. I'm not familiar enough yet with the area. Let me actually see where the Annapolis Valley is. Oh, okay. It's all the way up at the Bay of Fundy. We're not that far. Yeah, no, we're more southeast than that. Okay. What else we got? Wait, super chat there. If I'd been able to make your live streams, I would have known people were badgering you. Actually, to be fair, I haven't mentioned that yet. I don't think I've mentioned that everybody has been asking me about it, but they have. So you couldn't have known that. I was just playing a little bit. I mean, playing out my reaction. That's what I mean. So yeah, don't worry about that. But yeah, I've been swamped with comments about it. It's kind of ridiculous. Again, every individual person, of course, doesn't know how many hundreds of others have posted that at more or less the same time. And I just noticed the color balance is off. My beard is not green. There we go, that's better. Compare. Oh yeah. That's more, wait. They just increased the... increased both saturation and hue is different. Yeah, there we go. That looks more like it. Still in contact with the guys at Valhalla and Trondheim? Nope. Have not been, well, basically since moving away. It's hard to keep up with, keep in contact with people long distance, really. Recuperated from the Halifax flight, more or less. It did take a couple of days. I did not expect jet lag to be bad, really, because it's just a couple of hours. It's just 4 hours. And when we moved from Norway to Canada, I don't remember dealing a lot with jet lag, even though it was quite a substantial time zone difference. But this case, that really messed with me. I don't know. It's just this, but only on the way there, really. Like the 4 hours in the future. It was also because we took the night flight and didn't get any sleep during the flight. So yeah, it was a little bit exhausting for a time, but I'm very happy that we did it. Okay. Nope. There. How are you doing? What do you think of the Master Sword? I've actually made a video about the Master Sword. It's pretty old by now, but if you type in Master Sword um, on the search on my channel, in the search on my channel page, you'll find it. So basically, my opinion is for a fantasy sword, it's pretty good. It's one of the more practical mainstream fantasy designs, if you will, that I've seen. There are definitely some changes that I would personally make to it to make it more practical, but not bad overall. And how I'm doing is mainly the word is busy, busy and tired. That's mainly it. Did you get an MRI for those jiggle tumors yet? That's all the answer you get for that kind of nonsense. Just a bunch of coffee slurping. You did? Yeah, me did. I mean, you can probably see it by my eyes. I'm seeing it in the video right now. My eyes look kind of fucked up. But yeah. Whatevs. Life goes on. Wait, where's the chat? Has it disappeared again? It just randomly goes invisible. Something there we go. Apocalyptica, yes, I do. I do. Good stuff. Not sure how it is in Canada, but when I bought my house, I was not prepared for all the startup costs. Oh yeah, we are actually. We are aware that there's plenty of startup costs. A little painful, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Nova Scotia has a first-time home buyer's loan. Oh, okay, okay. We've got it. Down payment and mortgage and everything. We've got it all sorted out at this point. It was definitely higher price than we were hoping for, but it's well worth it. And we gotta make it work. And if no catastrophic financial change happens, we should be fine. You never know, but then again, there's never any guarantees no matter what you do. How's the move affecting the PhD? Well, it's being scheduled around the PhD. In fact, that was part of the reason, or the main reason actually, why we suddenly took the flight to Halifax and paid out the ass for a last minute flight, because there was this kind of break in the middle. The problem is the final PhD schedule is hard to really nail down, because it depends a lot on when people get back with edits and stuff. So that's really, there's a lot of hurry up and wait going on. So Kara needs to implement the changes and then let them look it over again and then wait for response, and then it's hard to really get a grasp on the exact time. We know the overall schedule. It's going to be done in August. Like the last dissertation defense and all that is going to happen in August, and we know that September, by that time, it's going to be all done. But the finer details in between are a little vague because it depends on other people, and you can't plan for other people. But yeah, I mean, we're handling it and scheduling as best we can. What is the best weapon combo? Sword and shield. I would just say the good old sword and board. If you want to combine weapons, that's the way to go. Oh yeah. Difficult track through hell. I agree. I have not gone through the process myself, but of course, as the spouse, I see it firsthand. And also, there's plenty of statistics about the mental health of PhD students and how many relationships fail during PhDs and everything. It's so much stress, and a lot of people just crack under all the pressure. And it's been tough for sure. So it's gonna be good when that's finally done. Um, let's see. There's a bunch of neat spots to visit once you're in Nova Scotia. I recommend the Halifax Citadel. Yeah, we actually already walked around the Citadel, not inside, but on the outside. York Redoubt, Point Pleasant Park, Cape Split. Okay. Um, I mean, there's plenty of interesting areas in Nova Scotia. We definitely will want to check out Cape Breton as well, and a lot of things. There's a lot of interesting landscape, you know. Bay of Fundy has some pretty awesome, um, unique coastlines and all that. Awesome beaches and forests and etc. The only thing that's missing is mountains. We'll probably miss the mountains on Vancouver Island and well in BC in general a little bit, but you don't always need mountains, do you? Nuke plus nuke, huh? We have a bigger VR setup at the new place. Oh yeah, certainly. There's way more space. This year is kind of bullshit. So yeah, there's gonna be it's gonna be way easier to set that up. And what I'm really looking forward to is being able to do sword practice and demonstrations, etc., inside, because there is one room that's essentially that spans over two stories, two floors. It's a very tall ceiling, and I can swing things. I can literally swing a pole arm inside. That makes me all kinds of happy. So that's gonna be nice. And of course, there's tons of space outside. I'm still not quite sure, but I don't even know what I want to do with all the land outside. I have some ideas, of course, but there's a ton. Miss the healthcare quality though? No, no, I won't. Healthcare is just as bad in BC, trust me. It's impossible to get a family doctor here. You have to uh, go to walk-in clinics all the time. Wait there. You have to wait forever to for referrals to specialists. I had to wait almost a year to get an MRI done. It's a Canada problem. It's not just over there. It's bad overall. There's just a doctor shortage and everything is affecting every province. Statistically, there are even slightly more doctors per capita available in Nova Scotia than in BC. And British Columbia is bad in that regard. Um, how silly! You said it would take a year. I literally have no idea what you're talking about. I mean, the MRI is like several years ago on the knee, so I don't know if you're high or something. The whole continent, yeah, exactly. It is Canada wide, sadly. Slurp on coffee again. I'm out of coffee. I can't. Here, look at my predicament. No more coffee. I'm gonna die. Not just statisticals because of small population. Well, like I said, it's per capita. Per capita is, relative. That does not, like, small population size doesn't affect that. It would just be if you took the absolute number of available doctors. I mean, I could technically build a smithy there because there's a giant workshop that actually has space for it. So it's technically possible. I just have no clue about smithing, so that sounds like something that's could be difficult to get into. I mean, people start somewhere, obviously. Um, Glad to see you alive and well. I haven't been able to catch a stream a while because life. Yeah, I haven't been able to stream for a while because life. Well, the pros and cons are to a typical fantasy dwarves: short stature and strength with regular sized two-handed weapons. Um, did I cover that in the video I made about dwarves? So I made one about that, and I think I talked about that too. So if you haven't seen that, if you just type in dwarf in the search, you should be able to find it. And other than that, two-handed weapons depends on the length. I mean, if they're suitable for the user, then yeah, they'll be fine. I mean, they can compensate for their natural short reach with their short arms to an extent by using something like a pole arm or a long two-handed sword or something like that. So definitely plausible. Brad, just get out of here. I don't know what the hell you're. Why do you spend money on trolling? I mean, it's your money, but I don't get it. Anyway, any plans or ideas for the Falchion from Baltimore Knife and Sword yet? I mean, I'll test it. That's a plan basically. Um, I wish the schedule was a little different. Like I wish I. It sounded like they would have it done fairly soon. I would actually prefer to receive it after the move is done because I'm not even sure if I'll be able to get to it before then because there's so much to do and I still have a bunch of swords left to test and review. I just got yesterday, in fact, I just got a shipment of tatami mats in, and because I figured even though it's going to be hard to get everything done, I basically have to because I have to sell as much as I absolutely can before the move to limit the transportation costs, and so I gotta get stuff done. And the Falchion is I'm also gonna have to get done in time. I won't sell it, of course, but I'll have to at least make some kind of video about it. Do not keep people waiting too long, you know. You have 4 other provinces within driving distance. Yep, that's right. The closest, of course, is New Brunswick, but Ottawa is still within driving distance. Quebec is Prince Edward Island. You're also in the Atlantic provinces. No Fundswick, yeah. What is it with that, by the way? I've heard of New No Fundswick, but I don't know. I don't know what's up with it. Mm, okay. Quebec doesn't exist, huh? I mean, they certainly don't want to exist in Canada. That's what it seems like. It's all just trees. Yeah, I mean, so is Nova Scotia. There's also plenty of trees. Trees and beaches. Nothing wrong with trees. I mean, you wouldn't want to piss off a tree ant now, would you? They will knock you right out. I'm just looking at the community post I did where I announced this live stream, and somebody said, "Your head seems unusually narrow in this picture." I'm like, what? Okay then. Did you become the Lich King or something? What do you mean become? How long have you lived in Canada? Since 2013. In fact, we literally moved here on Canada Day. It was not planned, it was coincidental. That's the funny part about it. But yeah, Canada Day 2013 is when we arrived. Pretty awesome. I may have watched that video, but may have missed it because, again, life, but I'll watch it again. I was just curious about a dwarf with something similar to a standard great. Oh, you mean if it's not scaled down to them? I don't think a dwarf could use a full-size greatsword. It's just too much. Because even with a standard human, even a fairly tall person, runs into some issues. Like there's some limitations with regards to angles when using it, because it's so long that if you cut at too steep an angle, you're just going to hit the floor or the ground, you know. And so you have to use it a little differently. If you're that short and you're dealing with such a huge, long sword, that's not going to work. That would just be too clunky, way too cumbersome. I mean, the dwarf could still just thrust with it, but cuts would be very, very difficult. Not trolling. Remember game review 2 years ago? No. Oh. Oh, the boob game. Oh, okay. Okay, I get it. I get it now. But why MRI? What? That part didn't make any sense. Yes, the booby game I do remember now, although my mind has tried to eliminate that from my memory because it was so ridiculous. All right. But the MRI thing I still don't get. Anyway, thank you. Even if I suspect you of trolling mistakenly, I appreciate support via Super Chat. Even if you actually troll, it still helps. So I still appreciate it. But yeah, sometimes I may misinterpret what you're up to in the comments. So. Favorite types of music? Metal. Different types of metal. Symphonic metal, electronic, lots of types that I like, good old thrash metal and power metal and etc. Lots of different subgenres. What smartphone are you currently using? I don't even know. I'm not a phone guy. Was it Samsung Galaxy something? Yeah. So many Samsung Galaxies that really narrows it down, doesn't it? S6, I think. Is it the S6? I don't know. Or was it the Note 4? I had a number because for some reason I'm cursed when it comes to phones. They all start failing like a couple of months after getting them. This one not. This one has held up. This is the first one that hasn't given me trouble. But a lot of other phones just have been crapping out. I mean, okay, one didn't really just crap out. It just the screen cracked. I still don't know how because it was just in my pocket. I didn't fall down or anything. It was just I took it out of my pocket. It was cracked. There. But I can't exactly blame that, like, mechanical stress. Even if I don't understand how it happened, I can't exactly blame it on the phone, right? That was me, I'm assuming. Anyway, any good Mongol swords you know of from Khan's era? Genghis, you mean? I assume? Because there were plenty of Khans, of course. Um, I've never really looked into Mongolian swords in particular. Well, I mean, a little bit. I have looked at them a little bit. They look a lot like some earlier Chinese Daos. I mean, of course, there's going to be some similarity in between areas that had contact. Contact. That's a nice way of putting it. Um, but yeah, I haven't really looked too much into it. Yeah, there you go. Let's see, are there better pictures? This one does not look much like Chinese ones, but yeah, this one here. That looks a lot more like a Chinese Dao, like a Tang Dao, for example. Definitely some nice looking swords. The Mongols had good taste in swords. Anyway, you and Shadiversity should have a discussion about fantasy creatures, should we? One thing I've noticed is I don't know if he's just has a monopoly on this type of video, but every time I make a video about that, well, at least lately, it gets barely any views. I've done stuff like that before, like the video about dwarves, for example, which did pretty well. But lately, whenever I talk about fantasy, like the one about flying fighters, I expected it to do pretty well, but it's got what, like a measly 20,000 views or so. Just what? I mean, maybe it just wasn't a good video. I don't know, but it seems to me that these days video quality doesn't matter anywhere near as much. It's more about how clickbaity is it and about some random things that happen with the algorithm. I am not able to predict how well a video does anymore based on the quality or the effort that went into it. I mean, that's never been one to one, but it's nowadays I have zero clue. Whenever I put up a video, it's like, I think this will do pretty well. No. Anyway, Skyrim weapons you would like to own in real life. I think the steel weapons generally are pretty good. A lot of the other stuff, a little bit dubious in terms of ergonomics in particular. But I mean, the glass weapons as a collector's piece would be pretty awesome because they look nice. The material looks pretty cool and all that. Do you ever review any Monster Hunter game? I did. I mean, I didn't review the game as such, as in gameplay or anything, but I rambled about how crazy the weapons are, basically, in a video. And I think that's about all I can do. Like, I can't really review the game as such, because I've never played it. I mean, any of the games in the series. Connecting it to a franchise, yeah, maybe, I don't know. It's not my favorite kind of video to make anyway, so I probably shouldn't even really bother for the most part, unless it's just something that I just, an idea that I have that I just want to do, I just feel like it, and then I may do it, but Armor from Game of Thrones. I mean, I'm not an armor expert. I don't know anywhere near as much about armor, so I might not be the right person. But maybe I could try, I suppose. How's the weather been in BC? Super dry in Saskatoon. Today it's the total opposite here. It's deluge, basically. It's just pouring, which is kind of weird because yesterday, was it yesterday? Yeah, only just yesterday it was pretty warm. Like it started to be uncomfortably warm, at least by my standards. Made me really happy by replying to your comment. Okay, thank you for letting me know. I mean, that didn't make a lot of sense. Not enough coffee, not enough sleep, not enough quality sleep. I'm glad. That would have been a more appropriate response anyway. Well, if we're in Canada, you can never thank people too much, right? Um, Buffy the Vampire Slayer scythe. Is it an axe? Okay, let me take a look, I guess. Wait, where is and what does? Here. Yeah, that is 100% an axe. That has literally nothing to do with a scythe. Like, not even close. Who would call that a scythe? Imbeciles, that's who. Yeah, that's an axe. That has absolutely zero to do with a scythe. I don't know what's up with that. What I missed so far? Oh, just incoherent babbling on my part, as per usual. Would you say that the usage of migration era blades requires a shield, in much the same way as the Gladius? Arguably, yes. I would definitely say that it's at the very least strongly suggests the use of a shield. Let's put it that way. I think it's almost mandatory. I mean, if both fighters in a duel have a sword and nothing else, and of course that can work, but it's not. It's just not the type of sword that you would use by itself, because it's not the most nimble, and doesn't have any significant hand protection, etc. It is, yeah. I think a shield is pretty much necessary for the most part. Rapier from Sword Art Online. Let me see. Oh wait, I also gotta actually show the browser. That's kind of useful. Have you watched Outlaw King? No, I have not. I think a few people have suggested it, but was it? I'm trying to remember what it even was. I think I vaguely remember something something historical fantasy, I think. What was it? Sword Art Online. What did you ask now? Something. Damn it. It's already gone. You just mentioned it. It's already gone from my mind. Rapier, yes, thank you. That was clearly not enough coffee. Well, which one is it? Is that? Yeah, no, that's not a rapier. Not even close. In fact, that has nothing to do with a rapier. Not even close. I just said that. Not even remotely. There you go. Yeah, no. It has some vague resemblance to a Chinese gen, maybe? But no. There's nothing rapier-like about it. It's always annoying when sword term, a term for a very specific type of sword is being completely misused. At least if you're a nerd, then that's upsetting, but otherwise, who cares? Ancient rapiers, that's not really a thing. I mean, unless you're talking about what is called rapiers from the Bronze Age, I disagree with the usage of that term. Let me see. Sometimes these are called rapier. Yeah, these. I would not use that term. They're simply thrusting swords. It's not a rapier. Anyway, what makes a good medieval fantasy setting? There's a lot of different ways to do that, to do that well. Depends on where your emphasis is. I mean, how close to history do you want to keep it? How far do you want to deviate it? Do you want magic? Do you want fantasy creatures? I can't really give like a general answer to that because there's so many possible ways of doing that. I mean, you could go the David Gemmell route, for example, where everything is very much down to earth and gritty realism, but then there's also magic in kind of a very mysterious, nebulous form. there are scenarios where like it seems like a medieval world at first, but then it turns out it's actually post-apocalyptic. It's like hundreds of years after our civilization has ended, and what people perceive as magic is actually technology. That's can be pretty cool. There's so many ways to do that. Yeah, just make the fantasy setting feel alive. I agree with that, but that's hard to quantify. Like, how do you do that exactly? It's not very easy. I mean, writing in general is not very easy, so it is a complex thing. What do you like most in a medieval fantasy setting? I like a good balance of realism and fantasy. I mean, what I should actually say is not necessarily so much realism, internal logic. That's what I think is important. Internal consistency and logic. If there is magic, try to explain how it works. So the reader understands, okay, this is a force that can be guided in particular ways, as opposed to being kind of a generic Deus Ex Machina placeholder. Like, magic does whatever you need at the time. That's bullshit. I don't like that. That's dissatisfying for the story, because then the author can just at any point just finagle something, Deus Ex Machina out of the blue, and you're sitting there like, well, that was underwhelming, you know. Yo, keep it up. I hope the move improves a lot. Thank you. Masturbate hentai. That's one hell of a name. My friend just said your face looks creepy. Well, your friend's face is a plum. A pickled plum. How do you like that, huh? Magic is okay, but it needs to have limitations, like any power, to make it an entertaining aspect of a world. Yep. That's what I mean. That's basically the thing. You have to have some kind of rules and boundaries and all that. Otherwise, it's just too vague, generic, bullshitty, so to speak. Well, yes, surrealistic fantasy. Yeah, sure, it's fine if that's what you're into, and I can appreciate that too. I mean, I can definitely appreciate more. Um, what's the word? High fantasy, more like. Generally, when it's that kind of thing, I actually prefer the lighter kind of fantasy, where it's you can expect a good ending, and things never turn too terrible. The characters don't don't suffer the way David Gemmell or makes them suffer, like that sort of thing. Just something that's kind of a refreshing escape from the grueling reality of life. That can be perfectly fine. I can enjoy that at times. As kind of a get away from all the seriousness and just have some fun. That's good. There's nothing at all wrong with that. And in that case, logic and internal consistency are not that important. In fact, if you do it well, if you get if you can produce enough emotional impact, let's put it that way, then the plot doesn't necessarily have to be that, convincing. I mean, I've seen movies that are very good on engaging you emotionally and cause strong emotions, but have such glaring plot holes that even though you enjoyed it for the most part, you're still left like a day after still thinking, what the fuck? Why did the character do that? And how does this work? And why was this finagled in such a way? And this is just so nonsensical and paradoxical and infuriating, you know? But the emotional appeal can still be there. It can still be satisfying in that way. But it just depends on how far it goes, like how huge and gaping are the plot holes. Because if it gets too bad, that can be really distracting. Favorite modern semi-automatic handgun? I do like the Smith & Wesson M&P. The one that I used to have was pretty good. Liked it. The Spontoon Hawk. Well, since I rehafted it after the first handle broke, yeah, it's been fine since then. Aside from the steel not being as hard as it should be. It's just fantasy. It doesn't need to make sense. I disagree with that. Because if it makes no sense, then the plot is just dissatisfying because it's just a bunch of yada yadaing. Basically, it is just this thing happened because fuck you. And that can be really irritating to the viewer, if it's too bad. Like it doesn't have to be everything just super serious and nonsensical and everything, but you need at least some form of coherent plot. Otherwise, it's confusing and silly. Oh, okay. Sarcasm. Fine, bro. The thing is, though, some people actually think that. Some people get terribly butthurt whenever you expect any kind of logic and consistency from anything fantasy because they are just like, it's fantasy, it doesn't need rah, 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 rah. And they just lose their shit because just the mere suggestion that a sensical plot could enhance fantasy is like, nope, they ain't having it. I don't get that mindset, but okay. I mean, even I was going to say, even something like My Little Pony has a coherent plot. I actually have no idea. I'm assuming it does. Does it? I mean, from what I've heard, the stories are supposedly well written. Any bronies here who can confirm that? I don't know. A one-handed poleaxe would not be a poleaxe, no. It would just be an axe, indeed. It does. It's a pretty cool story. All right. That's the thing. You can have something that's kind of very light-hearted, somewhat silly fantasy, and can still have a sensical plot. I mean, does MLP actually explain magic, or is it just whatever you need at the time? How does it do that? My Little Poleaxe, yeah, I'd watch that. It does. Yeah, yeah. Mass Effect explains biotics. I mean, it's not exactly a super high realism, scientifically well informed kind of explanation, but it's there. There's something, There's something that you can work with. You know how it's supposed to work. You know. Brain work. You know what to expect generally. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I mean, the Mass Effect fields and everything is it's something that I can definitely get behind. Sure, you could poke holes into it, like especially a physicist. But I mean, come on, you don't have to always be that anal. Says the guy who plucks stuff apart. Yeah. Anyway, sorry guys. Hmm. Space axe, space sword, space polearm. Okay. Getting ready to head to the library. Any authors I should look at for good fantasy? David Gemmell, definitely. Brandon Sanderson. Can I think of any others on top of my head? Those are my two favorites. Gemmell is written with two M and two L, by the way. Unless I misremember. I'm pretty sure it's Gemmell. Yes. Indeed. I haven't watched Endgame, so I don't know. I've literally the only time I saw it was like one video thumbnail on YouTube. Um, it looks absolutely ridiculous based on the one picture that I've seen. It looks super stupid and impractical, but I haven't watched it yet, so. Um, Comic convention in Halifax in October. HalCon. That sounds interesting to check out. Stormbreaker's design. Well, it's not much of a design, right? It's basically it's an axe handle with vines wrapped around it for no, it's an axe head with vines wrapped around for a handle. So I don't know. It's huge, but then again, it's superheroes, so I'd let that slide, so to speak. I mean, I don't see much point in plucking that apart. It's definitely not one of the silliest things I've seen, not by any means. It's built dumb. I definitely hate inconsistencies in superhero movies that are like they're just messing with the abilities that they have because you're presented with certain abilities that they have and certain powers, and then in the time of need, they don't fucking use them. Like, it's just annoying. The one of the most infuriating examples that I can think of on top of my head is whenever you have a character with super speed who is then caught by something that should be super easy for them to avoid. Like in the stupid Sonic movie trailer where he gets hit with a tranquilizer dart And then later in the same trailer, he slows down time to the point where you can just look at all the missiles flying at him and be like, yep, this is fine. It makes zero sense. And it's annoying. Like, why the hell? Or, characters that are generally extremely perceptive, and then somebody sneaks up on them and knocks them over the head. And it's like, were you asleep? Like, what the hell? you know? Well, like I just said, I haven't seen Endgame. I have not. I don't know. I mean, I can look it up right now, I suppose. Um, yeah, that is terrible. It would be okay if this was all it was. Just one blade. Done. That would be fine. But the way it is, absolutely stupid, of course. Shad has covered it. Why wouldn't he? Um, yeah, no, this is absolutely dumb. This is basically unusable. It would. The balance would be completely off, so you couldn't cut very powerfully with it. Even with superpower, that would still. Basically, he could probably punch harder than that thing hits. And just it would get in the way so much with this tiny little stubby handle. Um, like what I commented on in Blatant Sorcery lately, that video, the double spear. The problems that I pointed out there apply here, except even worse because it's that super short stubby handle that is just basically useless. That's all it is. It's hard to design a more useless weapon than that, basically. If you have a full length spear that's spear shaft all the way, except two shorter points on each side, yeah, you can do that. But two long blades with a stubby handle in between, nah, useless. Still pissing buckets. Let's see, what does the red iron twin blade actually look like? Oh, I also got to show it. Oh yeah, basically, same problem. The problem with this is this is basically a kayak paddle. That's it. If you want to go kayaking, then yeah, this is fine. But for fighting, dumb. Dumb and useless. This is almost worse. I mean, not. At least you could use it kind of as a really clunky, awkward spear. But yeah, this is terrible in terms of practicality. Disaster. Yeah, it really does look like a kayak paddle. That's my problem. Did Blunt Iron ever cover Quarterstaff while you were there? Yes, Julian came over from the mainland at one point and did Quarterstaff. Technically, it was like a seminar. Very interesting. Pretty awesome. But we don't do it in regular class. Oh, can't stop yawning. If only it was as simple as just sleeping longer, but it doesn't work. It's the quality that's the problem, not the quantity. The Holy Wind Weapon? Vagrant Story? Let's see. Holy Wind, that sounds really silly. You are a winner. What? Oh, that is hideous. That is pure abomination. So basically, you combine the worst of a war pick, which is its tendency to get stuck, with a sword while making the sword not a sword, because you completely ruin the balance, and you also make it not be able to cut, in either a slicing or a hewing cut, because it gets stuck immediately on those X blades. Yeah, that's terrible. And then you put a little toothpick handle on it. That's just asking to snap under all that weight. Yeah. No, not good. Like you're cutting videos on like a parking lot and I always see people walking by. Do they ever just come up and ask what the hell's going on? Some people ask, what we're doing, like in an interested way, and we just let them know, historical European martial arts, etc. We have, free intro classes, and sometimes people are definitely interested. So far, we haven't ever gotten any negative reactions. It's just been like, oh, cool, you guys are doing cool stuff with swords. It's usually people are interested. I think HEMA would be or will become more popular over time as more people find out about it. Because there are plenty of folks who would be absolutely interested if they knew that it exists. And a lot of the time, people have posted comments on my videos or channel saying, whoa, I didn't know that this was a thing and you can actually practice with, swords. That's awesome. And yeah. A lot of people just don't know it's a thing. It's an option. But they would very much do it. By the way, totally off topic right now, but if anybody has any suggestions or advice or whatever about homesteading and things you can do on your own land and home improvement, heating options, etc., all these things, feel free to let me know. Drop me a message or a comment or in the chat or whatever, because this is going to be quite a learning process, because we've only ever lived in apartments and I will be new to all that. As excited as I am about it, I have no previous experience with it, or I mean, not none, but very limited. So yes, the building is on solid ground. It's not a swamp. Yes, weapon rack. That's definitely going to be like proper display of the weapons. I can finally do that. Almost definitely should try to plant something. Yeah, it would definitely be interesting. There's so many things that I want to do. There's probably not going to be enough hours in the day. Can you expect the neighbors to lend a hand? No, I don't think so. There are not a lot of neighbors anyway. Solar panels, yes, we have already been looking into it. And yeah, insulation, definitely. Still waiting for the results from the home inspection. But it all looked very good. It definitely looks very well constructed. And what we could see of the insulation looked very promising. Set up a turning ring. We technically have enough space for it when, at least if clearing out more trees. Huh? What abomination? Solar panels cheaper these days. Yeah, I mean they're getting there. They're still kind of pricey. I looked into it and it was like what for nine to get 9 kilowatts. I think you need $25,000 investment. So it's still a lot of money to put down, but at the same time, in long term, I guess it's not too bad. Oh yeah, I know about the coyotes in Nova Scotia. I will I will chase them off with a warhammer. Special trees. Hmm. Yeah, we might actually. I'll definitely be looking into coppicing because would be pretty cool to provide our own firewood long term. Film coyote shenanigans, yes, certainly. Yeah, emergency power slash lighting options. We've also been thinking about that. That would be the good thing about solar panels, of course, along with a Tesla wall. That would be pretty awesome because I mean, depending on how much you want to invest, you can provide either a percentage or all of your power needs that way and have continuous power for several days in case of outage. But it's really a matter of how much you want to invest. And in the beginning, we probably can't do too much because finances will be wrecked for a while. It's going to take a while to recover from the initial costs. I will not shoot coyotes with a crossbow. No, shut up. Wind, I looked into it, but it doesn't really seem like a good choice there. For one, it's the property is surrounded by trees, so it's not a large open field, and those things you have to, for them to be efficient, you have to build pretty large ones, and it doesn't really seem like the greatest option. A coal kiln. I've actually been looking at outdoor wood furnaces, wood boilers in particular. Seems like the cheapest way to heat. It's just, it's a lot of time commitment, like getting all that wood and splitting it, etc. It's there's a lot of wood needed to get through the cold season. Yeah, sure. I'm gonna build a longboat with zero prior experience and knowledge about boat building. What could possibly go wrong? Oh yeah, I've also been thinking about that. I don't yet have a good overview of exactly what trees are growing there, but ash grows pretty quickly, and there's probably going to be some ash trees. There are a number of birches there. I'll start to see what else. Okay. William Wallace sword. Which one though? Like movie or historical? I'm assuming you mean historical. Is there actually a good picture of it in the museum? Yes. Well, good picture. That's all right, I guess. This was size reference there. So that is a pretty large sword. I would just bet on that just because two-handed sword versus a single-handed sword generally has the advantage. Reach and power and everything. Soil's good for blueberries. Interesting. Also, I noticed there's quite a bit of clay on the property, so I could probably do something with that as well. So many possibilities. Carving spoons, yeah, that could be interesting. Rocket stoves, yeah, I've looked into those as well. There's just lots of options, but I'm not sure I'm really comfortable with the potential fire hazard of rocket stoves. They look a little dubious. I think I would prefer an outdoor furnace actually, because that's a lot safer and shouldn't require extra insurance because it is outside. Does lose some heat, of course, compared to indoor furnace or stove, etc. Lots to think about. How good are you at kart racers? Not at all. I've barely played any racing games in my life. Very few. I mean, I can sum it up by telling you if I think about what are my favorite racing games or one of my favorites, Wipeout and Ridge Racer on the PS1, the original Ridge Racer Revolution. That's how long it's been. I've not played racing games at all consistently. Yeah, I know primitive technologies. I could probably do quite a bit with clay. What else we got? Chat on this channel is much more manageable than on the main channel. Gotta say that I probably don't even need the cooldown. 30 seconds. Yeah, there's really no non-moving water source, with one exception. The house has a sump pump, which I very much like. It's great to have. So it pumps out all the water that gathers under the house, and that can gather right in that area. I'm not really sure how to get rid of that though. I mean, it may not be much of an issue in during the dry season. It's just, I mean, when we were there, it was early May, so still fairly wet at that time overall. So we'll have to see about that. Isn't it more effective to heat water first and heat home with water? Yeah, that's exactly why I've been looking at an outdoor wood boiler, because I do think a boiler is a more efficient way to do it. Plus, it also provides hot water for, you know, showers and etc. Yeah, willow tree. That would probably take. I don't know how long willow trees take to mature, but it must be at the very least 5 years or something. Let's see. No, actually, I don't have to look that up here. No, actually, I can. Never mind. Mumble, mumble. Willow tree. It gives me the growing time for a willow tree in RuneScape. I meant real. Oh, 15 years? Yeah, that's a little bit long. A little bit. Okay. Would a buckler and dagger be good for a fantasy race that almost exclusively grapples? Do they have grappling hard-coded in their DNA? I'm assuming it's a cultural thing. Yeah, I think so. That could be done. It's definitely better than just a dagger, because that way you have defensive capabilities. It's not a bad idea. I think that could work. They would have to train extensively to make up for the range for the reach disadvantage. Have to just be very good at getting the timing right and shooting in quickly, closing the distance without being exposed too much. It's hard, but it can be done. Stormbreaker axe I talked about earlier, so my opinion is it's a pretty simple thing. It's basically just an axe head with a hammer that's got some vines wrapped around it for a handle. So as far as fantasy goes, considering that it's superheroes and everything, I mean, it's oversized. Clearly, it's very oversized, but it's Thor, so doesn't really matter. And I mean, compared to a lot of other things, it's actually not even that oversized. So, in the context, I think it's fine. If you made it in real life, it would be heavy as hell, but for Thor, he doesn't give a shit. Crossbow shield? I mean, they used a large standing shield. Well, it was really more of a portable barrier. The Pavis, or however it's pronounced. It's essentially a large shield that you just set up statically in front of yourself and use as portable cover while reloading a crossbow. That works very well. I suppose you could attach some kind of shielding, like a shield in front of the crossbow, but it would increase the weight so much that aiming would become difficult, I think. Plus, if you have a shield in front of your face while aiming at it, it's going to block a lot of your vision, which is not ideal. Because with a portable shield, you can always just cover behind it, take cover while you're loading, and then you just pop up and aim over top of it. But if the shield is attached to the crossbow, it's always going to be in your face, no matter what you do. So that could be a problem. If you've got as much clay as you said, you could try yourself at brick making. Subsequently build a pizza oven. Pizza is always a good thing. Definitely lots of long-term potential plans. Playing some Mordhau while watching the stream. Alright, there you go. Everybody is playing Mordhau right now. Well, I'm not. I don't have time for it, but everybody else is. And as I said, the video about it will be up next week. Don't you worry. Bought a willow tree about 1 to 2 years old and was growing pretty fast to the point we had to remove it about 2 to 3 years later, planting it. Okay. Hmm. English billhook is an alternative to the continental pike. I don't think a billhook is really an alternative to a pike because it's quite a different weapon, really. A pike is extremely long, and of course, is for thrusting only. And the billhook, I mean, it's still a pole arm, but it's kind of short compared to a pike, and it's used in a different kind of formation, etc., etc. I don't think they are very comparable, really. Looking forward to the PEI vlogs. Well, I won't really be on Prince Edward Island for the most part. I mean, we might visit it every now and then, but Nova Scotia is close, but we're not going to be in PEI. Sword and shield versus axe and shield versus spear and shield. Spear and shield, personally, I'm not a big fan of, really. Just in my experience, it's not as good as a sword or an axe. But other people have different opinions. People who've done a lot of fighting, sparring with spear and shield, don't mind it at all and find it very effective. So I think this is really more a matter of what you practice with. So they could all be quite good. The shield makes up for a lot of drawbacks that you have. Like, for example, with an axe, which is not very good defensively, the shield makes up for that. And yes, it does depend on whether it's battlefield or duel, and how many, what kind of formation you're in, how many people are involved, etc. There's a lot of variables. Thoughts? Dueling Harley Davidsons on The Simpsons? Do you mean like jousting on Harleys? Is that a thing? Let me see. Oh, never mind. Okay. Of course, it's The Simpsons, so jousting would be too sensical, I guess. Yeah. Actually, I think I've seen that episode a long time ago. That was pretty cool. All right. Move back to Norway? No. How about no? Warfare Revolution 101? Huh? I feel old, yeah. Me too. Especially on some days when my body doesn't like me. I feel my old bones. Especially on Sundays? Okay. Any plans for collaborations? Not currently. Life is Feudal, I've actually played a little bit a while ago. But it was the typical pattern. I started it, didn't have enough time for it, I stopped. Yeah. I'm boring these days, as far as gaming is concerned. Which makes me pretty sad. I used to be a very avid gamer. Favorite meals lately? There was something I enjoyed quite a bit. Oh, where was it again? On our way back to the airport, we stopped at a place in Sackville, which was, oh, what's it called again? Hmm. Let me see if I can remember what the place is called. It was very good. Let me see. And I had cauliflower rice with stir-fried veggies, and it was really good. It was one of those cases where I was like, I was looking at it like, I could get rice or noodles, but they have the cauliflower. That would be the healthy option. Okay, I've been eating a bunch of junk food lately. Let's go for the healthy option. And it was actually a lot better than I was hoping. That was quite good. But what is the place called again? I would definitely recommend that if you happen to be in that area. Where was it? There's a lot of little places. Oh, wait a moment. That is not the right Sackville. Sackville, Nova Scotia. There we go. Was it upper or lower? I'm not even sure. I can't really remember. We were there just that one time. Nope, I'm not finding it. Anyway, that was sidetracked quite a bit. Ever bothered to watch Sword Art Online? Nope, I have not. Never have I done such a thing. Deltora Quest? Never heard of it. Don't have any plans. No idea. Sword Art Online abridged is better anyways. Is it like Dragon Ball Z abridged? Because that is awesome. Could choose one weapon from Dark Souls, what would you pick? Some longsword, because there are a number of good longswords that are actually usable. Pretty simple. Simple, effective, a little boring maybe, but yeah. That's it. Hellsing Ultimate Abridged. Yeah, I can imagine. I have not watched that actually. Exanima, I did play a couple of times. Was it on this channel or on the main channel? I don't know. Either. Maybe both. Maybe both. Incels or MGTOWs? That's quite a question. They're both ridiculous. That's all I'm gonna say. I haven't looked much into them. I just randomly stumbled upon a video about them. I was like, the what now? I didn't even know the terms at the time. And yeah, it sounds absolutely ridiculous. Both cases. Bunch of losers. Just different flavors of losers. Society. You're so silly. Just want to say I'm so very happy for you and Kara about the new house. There's a lot of video potential. Can't wait to see it. Thank you. And I can't wait to get started. It's going to be awesome. want to move to Nova Scotia. My neighbors are annoying. Well, you know, there could be annoying neighbors in Nova Scotia too. Just saying. Plans for more VR videos. Not specific plans, but in general, yeah, I will make more VR videos at some point. News on the house. Not necessarily news specifically. It's still in the process. The home inspection was yesterday, and we don't have the report yet. But yeah, it's all the paperwork is in order now, and yeah, we'll just. Unless something really weird, unexpected happened, we're all set. Yes, awesome indeed. I thought about moving to Russia? No, never. That has never crossed my mind. What does your shirt say? All hail the gods of steel. It's in my spread. Well, both Spreadshirt and what's the other one? Teespring stores. Actually, linked down below. So if you want one of these, you can have it. I mean, not for free, but you can have it. Do not move to Russia. Yeah, no, don't worry. I would not. I would not. Not interested. Oh, never mind. Just got distracted by my own video light. We've been making more firearm videos? Yep, of course. Not going to be very regular, but every now and then. Still standing during streaming? Yeah. What's your problem with standing? It's healthier than sitting, a little bit at least. But I switch between standing and sitting. That's why I have the desk converter thing. I should just keep doing squats the entire time while doing this. How annoying would that be? I mean, that's, if I did proper squats, I'd be disappearing. I would be like. Anyway. Huh? What, millionaire or something? I don't know. I didn't get the first part. Bouncy castle streams, yes. We need that. Good to see you, always upvoting and saving your videos. Thank you. That's awesome. Would have the camera to follow you. That would also be really annoying. But it doesn't do that by itself. Unless magic. Any thoughts on For Honor's new heroes? Nope. I have 0 thoughts on For Honors. Do not care. Sorry. Have you seen the Machete films with Danny Trejo? I think I saw the first one. Yeah, the first one quite a while ago. From what I remember, it was pretty awesome. I did like it. I mean, Danny Trejo was badass. You know. Oh man. Are you going to upload the recording of the stream? Yeah, I think. I mean, it'll just be there afterwards. I don't know if I leave it public or unlisted or what. I mean, on this channel, I can probably just leave it public, whatever. If we had a drone that could follow us, also we do gladiatorial highlights against woodlimbs or trunks, would be interesting. I've actually, every now and then, I thought about getting a drone, for, blade tests and demonstrations, something to give like an aerial view. In some cases, that could help explain things from like a bird's eye perspective. I really like the idea. The only problem is they're expensive as fuck. I mean, at least the good ones, the ones with proper camera and all that. They are very pricey. So I don't know. I've considered it every now and then, but it's just been, the price tag has been discouraging. Let's put it that way. Favorite actor? Well, there's a number. Let's see. If I had to pick one, who would it be? If I had to pick one, let's see. It's hard to pick just one. I think Gary Oldman is definitely very high on the list for me. He is an amazing actor, and every role he just nails. Doesn't even matter what it is. You know, from Dracula to Commissioner Gordon to, you know, all the roles that he's done is pretty damn awesome. Christian Bale, of course, we also have to really appreciate the just effort he puts into his acting. Keanu Reeves, he's just like Keanu Reeves. I like particularly for just being an awesome dude. Just a very nice, humble. Yeah, everyone. Yeah, you gotta love Gary Oldman. He's just, but yeah, they're also there's so many awesome actors. Yeah, I can go on. I can go on for a long time just mentioning actors. I'm not even really much of a movie kind of guy, but there's so many brilliant actors. Shave to full baby face for $50. Try 5,000. Then we're talking maybe. Measly 50? Nah. Nope. Muscle cuirass plus detailed codpiece? How detailed? I would have to say no. In fact, no on both, really. I'm not a fan of the muscle cuirass either, but definitely no on the detailed codpiece. Bruce Willis, yeah, I mean, classic Bruce Willis, Die Hard and all that. Yeah, definitely. But I think there's other actors that I prefer overall. I wonder what people actually suggest if you look up best actors. Robert De Niro, yeah, he's definitely among the best. I would agree with that. Jack Nicholson, yeah, if you need a good psycho, 100%. Anthony Hopkins, oh yeah. Morgan Freeman, definitely agree. Absolutely. I'm not actually a Clint Eastwood fan, I have to say. Will probably make some people want to crucify me, but not really. Ian McKellen, yeah, absolutely. Anyway. Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson, yeah. Can't argue with that. Christoph Waltz, Medieval MMA. Oh, that's a nope from me. That is a definite nope. A bunch of wild flailing and crazy bashing, and no. I prefer actual technique and martial skill as opposed to just brute strength. Canada. What weapons are allowed for defense? Sadly, the self-defense laws here suck because you're not actually allowed to carry anything for the specific purpose of self-defense. You can absolutely carry stuff like bear spray and just say, well, you're carrying it in case of animal attacks. You can carry knives as tools. And yeah, canes, stuff like that. There are a number of self-defense options, but you have to kind of go about it in a careful way. You know, just pretending that, oh no, this is for this and that purpose. Essentially. Luckily, we rarely need to defend ourselves. I mean, yeah, that's it's not wrong. Violent crime is not a big problem in Canada, but I do think that everybody should have the option to carry a weapon for self-defense, or even multiple. Like, personal protection is an essential human right, in my opinion, and it's bullshit to limit that. With good intention, yes, I can acknowledge that, but misguided is what I would call it. Hilsen fra Oslo. Love your videos. Keep up the good work. Thank you. And again, thank you everybody else who has thrown in super chats, of course. Even if I don't say it all the time, I very much appreciate it. So thank you, all of you. You're awesome. Is it realistic to split an unarmored person with a two-handed sword or axe? All the way? Yeah. That would be very difficult. Very difficult. You'd need a robot for that. But cut deep into the body, yeah. That would be possible, I think. I can't tell you with certainty because obviously I've never done it. And I've never had an anatomical analog that's realistic enough to make statements about it. So I can only, it's basically educated guesswork. Question is also if you mean cut the body in half, like vertically or horizontally. Horizontally would obviously be a lot easier than vertically. Still difficult. Oh yeah, snapping logging rope, that can do it. Do you need to carry a weapon to defend yourself if you have an understanding of how to disarm the attacker? Disarms are, let's put it that way, optimistic at best. And optimistic is putting it very politely. Most disarm techniques that are being taught are frankly irresponsible, completely ridiculous and unrealistic. Like, it would be extremely hard. Like, it is such a major risk defending yourself empty-handed against someone with a weapon, any weapon really. It's such a major disadvantage that you have to be physically more fit and way more skilled than the attacker. And what if you aren't? What if you're about equal? What is better, a spear or a sword? Where, how, who? Battlefield, duel, confined space, open field? Depends. Polearm usage in HEMA? Yeah, some. It's limited because it's difficult to do polearms. Well, I mean, full contact, high intensity polearm sparring, you basically can't really do safely. But some HEMA schools do practice techniques. Yeah, that's the reason weapons exist. They're force multipliers. That's true. Yep. Disarms last option. Yeah, certainly. How's things? Busy. Very busy. But otherwise good. I just realized I can actually change this box here, because on this channel the chat isn't anywhere near as busy as on the main. So that's actually not so bad. Not that many people. I could update that. Going to do one last video with Eric and the gang. Yeah, I'll definitely want to do that. So sometime in August. Getting married soon? We've been married since 2013. Long time. Anyway, long time follower, mate. Love your channels. Keep them up. Thank you. Highly appreciate it. And thank you very much for the generous super chat. That is awesome and helps out quite a bit. Game of Thrones Season 8. Haven't watched it. Don't have an opinion. Do you ever interact with Matt Easton aside from comments? You know, comment replies and stuff? No. Glad to see you happy, Small. I know autocorrect tends to correct Skull into Small. It's kind of funny. Let's see, I'm caught up on the super chats, right? Yes. Yep. All good. And we're almost at 2 hours. I think I should wrap it up fairly soon. At the 2 hour mark, seems reasonable. Let's see. Repeating crossbow thoughts. They are very, very weak. Like the Chinese, for example. It's a good design for rapid shooting, but the problem is if it's designed in such a way that you can quickly and easily span it just with one hand, it's going to be very, very weak, very low draw weight. So that's always going to be the main problem. They're kind of puny. Also, 2013, I am ashamed. Never asked or stalked. That's okay. Hope to find an awesome girl someday. Many blessings. Well, good luck with that. I'm sure you will eventually. So yeah, inaccurate. Yeah, that too. That's the other issue, because you're not gonna aim and then you're just gonna basically hip shoot it and just be like crank that shit. No, I don't have any news from That Works. I don't know. They said a while ago. They said they were planning to have it done within a week, but that's longer than a week ago. So I don't actually know what their current schedule is. They seem, let me see here. Right, on the 24th of April, they said the goal was to get it done in 2 to 3 weeks. So that's 4 weeks ago, so something happened. They have a lot of work to do, so I'm not surprised. It's going to take quite a while. What about a regular crossbow with goat's foot integrated in the design with a magazine? I've seen something with integrated spanning device, but again, generally low, fairly low draw weight. The problem is the goat's foot lever is a pretty hefty thing. It has a certain weight, so if you attach that to the thing and leave it on, it's going to add quite a lot of weight. So you have to just hold that while you're aiming. Plus, I'm not sure you could really get it out of the way effectively. Like if I think about how the goat's foot lever is, you know, how bulky it is, how large it is, and if I imagine having that still on the crossbow, it would just be in your face. I don't think that would work, really. Or the goat's foot is a sidearm? Oh, do you mean like side spanning lever? I mean, maybe, but the thing is, you wouldn't even save all that much time necessarily. Like, if you just take off the goat's foot and hook it onto your belt, and then take it off, and it's you're losing what, like a second or two maybe, as opposed to if you had it on the thing, you span it, you aim, shoot, and you're not even necessarily gaining all that much, you know. So I mean, maybe an ingenious crossbow maker could come up with a good way to do that, but it still wouldn't be a super fast load because generally it's best to span it while putting it down, so you can put your foot in the stirrup and then use the goat's foot to span it. You can kind of do it while standing, but it's a lot harder and not necessarily that fast. So basically, you generally, as a rule of thumb, you can choose between speed and power. You can't really have both. I mean, if you try to get both, then it's just going to be a semi-efficient compromise. But generally, speed and power are kind of they go in opposite directions, so to speak, when it comes to crossbows, or at least medieval crossbows. I mean, in general, modern designs you have some more options, but that's still kind of the main issue. The faster it is, the weaker it's going to be. Yeah, skill is going to be the main factor. Skill is what primarily determines the speed, of course. Solar panels to run the motor. It says, yeah, definitely. Hydropower. Yeah, you just set up next to a stream and you're bound to that location. It's 3 a.m., but I don't want to leave the live stream. Don't worry, I'm only gonna run it for another 6.5 minutes until we're at a nice full 2 hours, and then I gotta get some more work done. Compound crossbows. Actually, there were, well, not compound. There were composite crossbows, not compound though. Not the way we have nowadays. You know, with the cams, that's a purely modern design. There is nothing even remotely similar to that in history that I'm aware of. Keep us updated via the streams. I'll try. I may not always be able to when things get too busy, but I'll try. Inverting your beard? What? The what now? What else is going on? No, I have not. What is it? Inversion method for hair growth. Legit or gimmick? Massaging your scalp nightly with oil. Turning your head upside down for up to 4 minutes. That sounds very gimmicky. I mean, massaging with oil, yeah, that's not a bad thing. If you increase blood flow, then yeah, you can potentially stimulate growth, but it's not going to be like a magical method. Anyway, no. Let's get back to Super Chat here. Would the Greek gastrophetes be a good crossbow if the handle were removed and the slot were cut into the tiller that would allow the user to use the haft of an axe or a hammer as a reloading handle? The way it's designed, the gastrophetes, is you're supposed to lean on it to cock it. So, I mean, in that case, you would have to push it down with your arms. That wouldn't be as good because the thing is, if you have it pushed against your body is not going to give. It's a solid structure. Whereas your arms, at a certain level of resistance, your muscles are going to give out sooner. Unless you're really damn strong. But even then, you could still push harder with your torso as opposed to just your arms. So I think that would be less effective. But I mean, yeah, it would be easier to aim with it that way. I do agree with that. But it will probably be a little harder to span. Might be possible though. Like, I don't really necessarily see a reason why it wouldn't work. But I've never used one of those, so I can't tell you for sure. I've just seen it in videos. So maybe, I don't know. System of a Down? No, not really. Oh, crunchy spine. Could you and Matt Easton or the Metatron do a video together? I mean, we could. I don't know if we can manage because everybody has their own busy schedules. And then there's time zone difference to add to the difficulty of, planning it. But I guess we could, if they have interest. What? Sweden attempting to ban Futhark runes? What? Is that true? That sounds dubious. Let's see. That would be absolutely ridiculous if they did. It's trying to make certain runes from the runic alphabet illegal. What? Let's ban some ladders. What the fuck? That's not going to happen. They're not going to get through with it. I would be highly surprised if they could. Because basically people could, neo-pagans could basically claim religious oppression if the state tried to ban runes. No, I don't see that happening. I would be highly surprised if they could get through with it. Anyway, I'm surprised you're streaming this late. Well, I'm just about done. I'm just at 2 hours, and that's what I wanted to stick to. So, did you just show up, Scott? Because that would suck. I'm just getting ready to finish. Yeah, it's the first stream that I've managed to do in, I don't even know, 2 weeks? Something? I don't know. Past 2 weeks have been crazy. Absolutely ridiculous. So, yeah, we're basically done here. So, thanks for showing up, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it, even though it was not the most coherent of rambles. But then again, those streams never are. And I don't know yet when I'll stream the next time. It's still going to be very, very busy. Nope, I won't run tomorrow's class. I'm still just drowning in to-dos and paperwork and everything. It's just I'm hoping to be able to run the Sunday class after that. So the second of June. I should be okay by then, but it's still too crazy. Still struggling to catch up. Anyway, so yeah, thanks for showing up, everybody. I will see you next time. Have a good one.